nice talk. Please stop sharing.
Yeah.
So now we have Himanshu Parihar as the last speaker in this session. He will talk on Bayes curves for entanglement negativity through geometric evaporation. So Himanshu, please, please start.
Okay. So
I will remind you after 9 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, sir. First, I would like to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity for this talk. And the title of my talk is Bayes curve for entanglement negativity through geometric evaporation. And this work has been done in collaboration with Jaideep, Devarsi, Vinay, and Gautam Singh Gupta. So, okay. So here is the brief overview of my talk. First, I will briefly review about the partial dimension reduction and then how to obtain JT black hole from a BTG black hole. Then I will talk about our computation of entanglement negativity for a single and adjacent interval. Lastly, I will discuss about the Bayes curve for entanglement negativity followed by a summary. So firstly, the partial dimension reduction. So consider the 3-dimension action, which is given by this expression, and we choose this lambda to be a negative cosmological constant. Then we consider the solution to the above action where the metric does not depend on one coordinate, that is phi coordinate, and we can be expressed in the following form, where the indices mu nu runs from 0 to 2 and AB from 0 to 1, and this phi, small phi is some function of xa, and this curly phi is the angular coordinate. So now using the above answer in the 3-dimensional action, we get the following form of this action, where alpha ranges from 0 to 1 and denotes the parameter which controls the extent of partial dimension reduction. So we see that the form of this action is similar to the dynamical part of the action of the JT gravity. If we identify L3 with L and G3 with LG2, and in this where the G2 is the 2-dimensional Newton constant and G3 is the 3-dimensional Newton constant. So in this JT action, this first part is the topological part and second part is the dynamical part, and this capital phi is the dilaton field, and the dilaton field can be expressed in terms of the angular component of the metric of this answer, and it is given by this expression. Here phi r is the renormalized value of the dilaton and is given by the 2 pi L alpha, and it specifies the boundary condition of the dilaton field. So now we use this procedure of partial dimension reduction to obtain the finite temperature ADS2 black hole from BTG. So for this, we consider the BTG black hole, whose metric is given by this expression, where RH is the horizon radius, L3 denotes the ADS3 length scale, and phi is the angular coordinate. So we see that the above metric is of the same form as the answer we considered earlier. If we identify this phi L3 with R, so now going to the null coordinates, U equal to T plus R star and V equal to T minus R star, where R star is the tortoise coordinate defined by this relation. So the BTG metric in this coordinates, null coordinates, takes the following form. Here the first term in the above expression corresponds to the metric of the non-estimal black hole in JT gravity upon identifying L3 with L, which is the ADS2 length scale, and the angular component of this matrix gives us the dilaton profile for this case, which is given by this expression, and the temperature of this non-estimal JT black hole is given by this expression, where E is the mass of the JT black hole. So now, due to this partial dimension reduction, the space-time has been split into two parts. One is the JT black hole, and the remaining is the CFT bar system, so which is shown in these two figures. Here, this disk is the time slice of a BTG black hole, and we are partially reducing it by some angle 2 pi alpha, which is giving us the JT black hole, and the remainder of the BTG is here indicated by this light green color, and by the ADS CFT correspondence, this part has a dual CFT living on its boundary, which is the CFT2. So now we have the JT black hole, which is coupled to a bath CFT2. So in this way, we obtain black hole plus bath system from this procedure. So the dynamical evaporation for the black hole may be achieved by putting time dependence on the parameter alpha, which takes the following form, where phi r now depends upon time, this time t, and it is given by this expression. So using this scheme of geometrical evaporation for the JT black hole, the authors Verheiden and Valinde have obtained the phase curve for entanglement entropy of the radiation in this setup. So now we come to our computations. So first we consider a single interval R in a bath, where the R is a union of this left and right subsystem R, and we have several choices for RT surface depending on the size of the boundary subsystem as shown in figure below. So here we have like 4 choices of the RT surface. In the first 3 figures we have the connected RT surface, while in the last figure the size of the boundary subsystem R is so smaller so that its RT surface becomes disconnected. So the Renner entropy of order half of this subsystem R we considered earlier in a bath coupled to JT gravity, then given by these expressions, and the Renner entropy of order half corresponding to this boundary subsystem R is then given by the minimum of all these 4 choices. So now we come to the negativity of a single interval. For pure state, the entanglement negativity of a single interval with its complement is given by the Renner entropy of order half. So the entanglement negativity of the subsystem R in the bath is given by this expression, which is the Renner entropy of order of half. So the time evolution of the entanglement negativity for single interval in a bath is depicted in the plot given below. Here we have plotted the entanglement negativity of a single interval for different interval sizes, and we see that when the size of the interval is comparable to the size of the bath, we get the full part of the phase curve, which is here shown by this red and blue curve, while when the size of the interval is smaller than the size of the bath, we only obtain the part of the phase curve, which is here shown by these other color curves. So now we come to the second case, the adjacent interval in a bath. So we consider the mixed state configuration of 2 adjacent intervals R1 and R2 in the bath. So in this diagram, so we are partially reducing the BTG spacetime by some angle 2 pi alpha, and here the boundary of this colored green region is our bath, and this red part is the subsystem R1, and this blue part is the subsystem R2, and this green part is the black hole, and the size of this subsystem R1 and R2 are L1 and L2 respectively. So the corresponding entanglement negativity between R1 and R2 is given by the combination of Renner entropy of order half of R1 and R2, which is given by this expression. So in this setup we consider, we have 3 parameters, namely alpha, L1 and L2, and we can study the behavior of entanglement negativity as a function of this parameter. So we first consider the case where alpha is fixed and vary the ratio L1 by L1 plus L2. So we compute the entanglement negativity between R1 and R2, where the size of the subsystem R1 is increasing while keeping the size of the JT black hole fixed to less than that of entire bath subsystem R equal to R1 union R2. The plot of the entanglement negativity obtained using the above proposal for the configuration of adjacent intervals in the high temperature limit depicts an analog of the phase curve for the entanglement negativity, so which is shown here in this plot. So we observe that the behavior of the entanglement negativity from our computation matches exactly with that derived in the context of random matrix theory in Saporian et al. So we see that as long as the subsystem R1 remains smaller than the subsystem R2, the negativity rises linearly, since the entanglement is governed by the size of the smaller subsystem. Here it is shown in the first part of this plot. Next, when we keep on increasing L1, at a particular point, the size of R1 becomes comparable to that of R2, and the entanglement between them saturates to a plateau, describing tripartite entanglement phase. Here it is shown by this plateau part of this curve. Finally, when R1 becomes much larger than R2, the entanglement between them is determined by the size of the R2, and which is the decreasing part of this plot. So next, we consider the second case where the ratio P equal to L1 by L2 is kept fixed and alpha is varying. So we determine the time evolution of the entanglement negativity for the adjacent interval configuration by varying alpha. We obtain the behavior of the entanglement negativity for this case with respect to 1 minus alpha of t for two different values of p, which is here shown in this plot. So the excuse me, the above plot also reproduces the phase curve for entanglement negativity of a mixed state configuration obtained through the random matrix techniques in Saporian et al. So we in this plot, so we see that for a smaller value of 1 minus alpha, the size of the black hole is much larger than the size of subsystem R1 and R2, and the subsystem R1 and R2 are strongly entangled with the black hole. So by the monogamy of entanglement, the entanglement between R1 and R2 is very small, which is here shown in the first part of this plot. So when the value of 1 minus alpha, that is the time increases, so the size of the black hole decreases, and the entanglement between R1 and R2 increases depending on their relative size. Here it is shown in this increasing part of the plot. This red part is the ratio when we have the L1 is equal to L2, that is the both subsystem sizes are equal. So we have this straight line, while the subsystem, the size of the subsystem L1 is twice the is half of the subsystem L2. We have this deviating plot behavior from this straight line. So similarly, using this procedure, we can obtain the analog of the phase curve for the entanglement negativity of configuration of two disjoint intervals. So
Himanshu, you spent 10 minutes already.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is my last slide. Next, yeah. So yeah, to summarize, we have described the partial dimension reduction, which splits the three-dimensional space-time into a two-dimensional black hole, and the remainder, which is the holographic dual of a boundary CFT. The entropy of an interval in the bath or radiation region is obtained by simply computing geodesic lengths in the three-dimensional space-time. We have computed the entanglement negativity of a single adjacent and disjoint interval configuration in a bath coupled to a non-estimal black hole in JT gravity. We can also interpret the results, entanglement negativity results we obtain in terms of the entanglement island construction in the two-dimensional effective theory. So finally, the behavior of the entanglement negativity follows the analog of phase curve for the entanglement negativity in bipartite random mixed state obtained through a diagrammatic techniques developed in the context of random matrix theory. So thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Himanshu, for the nice talk and also for making my life simpler. Questions? Alok, please.
Hi, Himanshu. Sorry, maybe this is a very vague question, but is there a notion of entanglement with wedge? I mean, for the negativity also, like we have for the entanglement, I mean, von Neumann entropy. Maybe I missed it when you explained it.
So, means the entanglement wedge or entanglement entropy?
In the bulk, entanglement wedge in the bulk. Sorry, I maybe I missed it when you were explaining.
No, yeah, we can have the entanglement wedge because okay, in this diagram. So say in the 4 diagram, so we have these two RT surfaces. So the in this case, the entanglement wedge is disconnected, while in the first 3 diagram, the entanglement wedge is connected. So
these disconnected things are the wedge for the union of them is the wedge for the negativity, or I mean, is there a notion of wedge for the negativity, or is that
no? The notion is for the boundary subsystem. So you have boundary subsystem and you have the RT surface. Then the region bounded by this RT and boundary subsystem is the entanglement wedge. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Prashant, can I comment on this?
Yes, Gautam, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yes, Alok, there is a, I mean, I think maybe Himanshu misunderstood the question. There is a notion of entanglement wedge, which corresponds to negativity. Okay, but I mean, just like there is a quantity also called reflected entropy, okay, which is twice the entanglement wedge, typically. And there is some work and proposal of Ryu and Flam, Sensei Ryu and Jonah Kudler-Flam, relating entanglement negativity to the entanglement wedge. But there is, I mean, there is a subtlety in this because there is, from some recent work by Hayden and others, that there is also something, quantity called a Markov gap. So directly relating negativity to the entanglement wedge also involves the Markov gap, which comes from Markov recovery process. So there is literature on the entanglement wedge for entanglement negativity. Right. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you. Thanks, Gaurav.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Any other question?
Can I add something?
Yes, yes, please.
So the connection is for adjacent interval, it is very clear, but for disjoint interval, this connection is quite tricky. So directly relating entanglement wedge and negativity is quite tricky in some cases, but yes, some cases it is straightforward.
Yes, but one can always relate one can always connect a related quantity called reflected entropy. Okay, this is a work of Faulkner and Datta, which can be directly related to twice the entanglement wedge, which is also a mixed state entanglement measure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. If there are no further questions,